series of high-profile visits to Nepal continues as Bangladeshi president is arriving in Nepal for a 4-day goodwill visit later today. Although the visit will not see signing of any agreement, there will be talks on tourism promotion, connectivity, hydropower investment, among others. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan. Let's begin with the top stories this hour. The Parliamentary Committee submits a 10-point directive to government to sort out the border dispute. Leaders urge government to release a map with Lipiadura as the border. Education Ministry unleashes a 15-day ultimatum to medical colleges to refund the additional fees they charge from the students. Bangladesh president to arrive in Nepal later today. Prospects of hydropower talks, tourism promotion and bilateral trade on the cards. And West Indies blackwash Afghanistan, wrap-up series 3-0. Sai Hope stars with the bat for Windies. The Parliamentary Committee has submitted a 10-point directive to the government regarding the border dispute with India involving the Kalapani region. The committee has suggested for the need of discussions at the political and diplomatic level to resolve the issue. The State Affairs and Good Governance Committee called upon 2 ministers at the meeting yesterday and urged the government to internationalize the issue if needed. The State Affairs and Good Governance Committee had called Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli for discussions on the Kalapani dispute. However, Premier Oli had sent Land Management Minister Padma Aryal to represent him at the meeting. The meeting was also attended by Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa. The meeting lasted for 2.5 hours and directed the government to draw a new map by taking Lipiadura as the western border of Nepal. The committee has also directed the government to permanently deploy an armed security force at the border region. Land Management Minister Padma Aryal, on behalf of the Prime Minister, informed the committee that the Indian government was ready to resolve the border dispute through discussions at the Foreign Secretary level meeting. Meanwhile, co-chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Pushpakamal Dahal, said the government must seek for political and diplomatic means to reach a solution and that internationalizing the issue was not an option for the time being. Dahal was also of the opinion that both countries having a majority government was at its strength in regards to addressing the border issue. India's political map released last week has invited public outcry as it includes Nepal's Kalapani region. Various protests were also held at different places across the country for the past 1 week. Representatives from all the political parties, former prime ministers and former foreign ministers pledged their support to the government at the all-party meeting held on Saturday. Leaders from both the ruling Nepal Communist Party and the main opposition Nepali Congress have come together and urged the government to initiate high-level diplomatic efforts to reclaim the Lipu Lake area inside Nepal's territory. Speaking at a program organized by the ruling party, political leaders said that Lipiadura, the source of the Mahakali River, is Nepal's territory and that India needed to correct its map at the earliest. They added that the government could play a decisive role because of its majority. Senior Nepal Communist Party leader Madhakumar Nepal said that the government must not hesitate to use diplomatic and intellectual efforts to resolve the border dispute. Another NCP leader, Bambadev Gautam, said the government must ask the Indian side to withdraw its security personnel from the border areas without any hesitation. Meanwhile, Nepali Congress lawmaker Ramesh Lekhak said it was an opportune time for the government to resolve the ongoing dispute over Kalapani as there were no conflicting voices from both the parties. The leaders also urged the government to initiate research and come up with its own map. Minister for Foreign Affairs Pradeep Gyawali has assured lawmakers that the government would reclaim Nepal's land at Lipu Lake. Foreign Minister Gyawali said no country could encroach the sovereign territory of Nepal and that the government would resolve the dispute through diplomatic dialogues while responding to the Parliamentary Committee for International Relations. Minister Gyawali further added the government was preparing to initiate dialogue with the Indian government after the southern neighbor claimed 372 square kilometers of Nepal's land as its own.
दूतावासले भारतको विदेश मन्त्रालयसँग सम्पर्क गरेर यो समस्याको समाधानका लागि अब तुरुन्तै यसमा पहल थाल्नुपर्छ भनेर भनेको छ र हाम्रो मन्त्रालयले पनि तदनुरूप हामीले चाहिँ कामलाई अगाडि बढाउने तयारीहरू गरिरहेका छौँ र आवश्यक पर्दा प्रधानमन्त्रीकै तहबाट जस्तरको एउटा राजनीतिक संवादको कुनै पहलको सुरुवात होस् भनेर पनि अस्ति सबै राजनीतिक दलहरू सबै पक्षले सुझाव दिनुभएको छ हामीले त्यो विषयलाई पनि खुला राखेका छौँ।
The lawmakers urged the minister to maintain sensitivity in the case and build a conducive environment to initiate dialogue with the Indian government. President of Bangladesh, Mohammad Abdul Hamid, is arriving in Nepal for a 4-day visit to this Himalayan nation. President Hamid is coming to Nepal on a goodwill visit upon the invitation of Nepalese President Bidyadevi Bhandari. President Hamid is leading a 52-member delegation and will be paying courtesy calls on President Bhandari, Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, Chairman of National Assembly Ganesh Prasad Timilsina and Foreign Minister Pradeep Kumar Gyawali. During the visit of the Bangladeshi President, the two sides will dwell on prospects of bilateral trade, tourism promotion and connectivity network. The Nepalese side is likely to request the Bangladeshi investors to consider investing in hydropower projects along with construction of transmission lines. Meanwhile, Energy Ministry has stated that there would be no official signing or agreement during the Bangladeshi President's visit. The Ministry of Education has warned that it would file cases against medical colleges for fraud if they did not refund the additional fees they charged the students within 15 days. Organizing a press conference yesterday, Minister for Education Giriraj Mani Pokhrel said that the ministry would take actions against colleges that do not abide by the government's order of refunding excess fees or adjusting the outstanding fees in the next year. The Education Minister informed that he had already returned to the Home Minister, stating that the ministry would initiate action against medical colleges that fail to abide by the government's order.
हामीले यो अहिले एउटा चाहिँ 15 दिनको समय दिएर यी सबै समस्यालाई सकारात्मक ढंगले हल गर्ने एउटा वातावरण बनोस् भनेर यो चाहिँ हामीले जानकारी गराउन खोजेको। अब यो आग्रह गरिसकेपछि उहाँहरूले मिलाउनु भएन भनेदेखि निश्चित रूपमा विद्यार्थी र अभिभावकले दिएका निवेदनहरूमाथि त्यो कार्यान्वयनको प्रक्रियामा जान्छ। हामीले आजै अहिले तपाईहरुलाई हामीले सार्वजनिक गर्यौं। आजै अहिले हाम्रो गृह मन्त्रालयलाई अनुरोध पत्र जान्छ।
Medical students have been protesting against the private medical colleges that are charging exorbitant fees. The protest, which started from Birganj, is now centered in Kathmandu. The agitating students have already submitted their complaints with proofs to the ministry. Meanwhile, Minister Pokhrel added that as the government was working to fulfill the demands raised by Dr. Govinda Kesi, he said that there was no need for Dr. Kesi to carry out his hunger strike. Dr. Kesi is on his 17th hunger strike with a 7-point demand. In our public voice segment, we had asked the residents of Rupandai district what are the challenges for women in politics and how can they be addressed. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
महिलाहरूले समय चाहिँ व्यवस्थापन गर्न सक्नुहुन्न, त्यसपछि आर्थिक भौतिक कारण पनि अलिकति पछाडी पर्नुको अवस्था। पहिलो कुरा आर्थिकले महिलाहरूलाई यसै पनि पछाडी पारेको हुन्छ र चुलो चौको परिवारले गर्दा पनि महिलाहरू यसै पछाडी परिरहेको हुन्छ। यो महिलाहरू हो, यो महिलाहरू कमजोर हुन्छ, उले चाहिँ काम गर्न सक्दैन भन्ने जुन एक खालको सोचाइ छ नि, त्यो सोचाइ जबसम्म परिवर्तन हुँदैन तबसम्म चाहिँ काम गर्न चाहिँ समस्या हुन्छ।
It's now time for a segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
What's your take on the government's decision to warn but not take action against medical colleges that are charging excess fees? Your options are A, failure of the state, option B, audacity of college operators, and option C, opportunity to recorrect. The voting is on. Type NEW, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Let's move on to sports update.
Sports news.
West Indies have clean swept the series against Afghanistan, clinching the third one-day yesterday by 5 wickets. In the match played at Indian city of Lucknow, Afghanistan sent into bat first, scored 249 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. Afghanistan at one stage were reeling at 180 runs for the loss of 5 wickets, with only Hazratullah Jazai getting among the runs, scoring a half-century. Asghar Afghan and Mohammad Nabi put on 127 runs for the 6-wicket partnership to give respectability to the Afghan total. Afghan scored 86 runs, while Nabi remained unbeaten with 50 runs. In reply, West Indies, after a disastrous start achieved the victory target in the 49th over. Sai Hope guided Windies to a comfortable victory at the end with a well-compiled 109 runs. And those were our latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTVSD. Good day.